Hey everyone, I have a very important video for you today. Now this is a deep, sincere thank you to all those veterans who participated in the events during the quasi-government shutdown in Washington, D.C. You guys did the right thing. You guys did what needed to be done and made me proud to be an American again. You see, for those who don't know what happened, our President Barack Obama wanted to make this government shutdown hurt as much as he could. So he shut down all the people's parks, all the public land many times paid for by private investors. He shut down all those war memorials. He shut them down. Alright, people were getting evicted out of their homes because they were near the federal land. You had state parks that were run by the state being shut down. It was a mess. Well, the veterans took down the barricades. Why do we call them barricades? Because our President Barack Obama, for a large portion of his life, was known as Barry Soetoro. They took down the barricades and decided to march them down to the White House to address their grievances, as a good American should. So, as they're going on their way down to the White House, I mean, some of the photographs taken were so capturing. They captured the American spirit, the ideas of freedom, liberty, and resistance to tyranny. All right, they were moving, and you see even police officers helping the veterans because they knew it cost more to keep the police in those parks with them close than what it would have been to keep them in operation. So anyway, on their way down to the White House, they had a little bit of a problem. They had Obama's goon squad, his windbreaker team, show up. And the funny thing is, this president says you can't have certain types of rifles because they're weapons of war and should not be on our city streets. Well, what did they roll in on? They weren't minivans, and these young 20-something-year-old social workers all thought they were important because they had a uniform. They don't realize the only reason why they're there is because they're expendable. And there was this clip going around the internet of one young man with a metal baton trying to take out a 75-year-old war veteran. The 75-year-old war veteran nearly knocked the kid down. I mean, here's the thing. You don't mess with this guy. This guy was in war. He literally had to kill people. You don't know what he knows and what he went through. You don't pick a fight with them. And yet you have number 2674, a little short thing, thought he was really tough. He was trying to pick a fight with everyone. And I guarantee you, if he was the only one in that line, he wouldn't act the way he did. But there was one actor, and he tweeted something that was very valid. He said, it's a good thing Obama had a national security force, because if he didn't, you know, that 85-year-old war veteran in a wheelchair was such a threat to our national security. In any event, so there were smarter heads they prevailed, and they got all those kids out of that area. And they left the White House to the veterans. This is the part I didn't understand. The President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief of this country, wasn't man enough to go out and talk to his troops. These are the people he's supposed to be leading. The people who fought for his right to call himself an American so he could be the United States President. He won't go out and even talk to these people like a man. It was disrespectful. How could this president shut down things like graveyards? People couldn't even go and see their loved ones, their fathers, their sons, whatever it is, and when they're supposed to be resting in peace. You have World War II veterans, people in their 80s. You don't know how many years they have left. You don't know what they had to see. You don't know what they went through in that war, how many of their buddies didn't make it back home, and you won't even give them a place to have closure and reflect, a place for them to remember what happened back then? It made no sense whatsoever. I mean, during this government shutdown, it was all the alphabet soup agencies that kept on running. The TSA, NSA, all that unconstitutional garbage was still here. Jesse Ventura said something that was very, very valid, and I thought a lot about. He said, if we don't have any representation, how can we have taxation? Why are our congressmen and senators still getting paid, and yet they aren't representing us? Why are we still being taxed? And I'll tell you, in the next government shutdown, you won't see any tax breaks, because when people start getting extra money and less BS laws, they'll like that and enjoy the freedom, and it will be the nail in the coffin to this government. So, before I close out this video, I want to make a point of it again. Thank you to all those veterans out there who did the right thing. Alright, you guys may be proud to be an American, and what happened in that week should be included in every history book from now on. It was one of the most important points in this country's history. Take care.